Hi, Soapy friends. Happy Wet Soap Wednesday. Welcome. I'm Kendra, and today we're going to make some soap. Yay. Alrighty, so today is day one of a two-part soap. Now, I'm not a huge two-part soap person because I'm fairly impatient, but I've been thinking about this one for a long time. Let me flip you over and show you kind of some of the inspiration. As I mentioned, this is inspired by my sister, Erika, and she does acrylic paint pouring, and we have lots of fun playing with paint with her. So we've been playing with rocks and surfaces, and check these out. You see these really groovy colors? We dipped these. See, it's a soap dish. I'm going to play with the soap dish. I'll let you know how well this works out. And this is a rock. Yay, rocks. But we painted, you pour this fluid acrylic paint onto things and it makes all these groovy patterns. And this was kind of like overflow, and we took the rock and we dipped it, and I took the soap dish and we dipped it. And then I brought this one in from my garden just so you could see the dull colors here will pop and be all shiny once we coat them. But this dipping, I was like, we've got to do this with soap. I've done one other soap that was inspired by my sister's acrylic paint pouring, and it was a string pull soap, and I thought that turned out pretty well. So that was a few years back. I think that video's up on YouTube. So we're gonna try acrylic paint pour overflow dip stuff, but with soap. In order to do that though, we first have to make some soap. I also have this idea that I can glue embeds to the soap. So we'll have a bar of soap, I'll dip it into wet soap, and we'll have the embed kind of glued on. So it'll be super fun. And Erika might come and join us next week when we do that. But today, in order to do all that, we need the soap. So we're kind of making our canvas. But I also thought, you could see how I fill embeds with a squeeze bottle, because the embeds, I don't want a big old huge bump of a heart sticking up off my soap. I just want a little sliver of it. So I'm going to pour them really shallow. And I'm going to use a squeeze bottle and a scale to help me with that. Okay, let's see. What all do we have? This is my slab mold. It is 12 by 10. It's a Willoway slab mold. And then of course I have some silicone hearts, butterflies. I'm just going to do all butterflies, but I have more bars of soap than butterflies. I only have one of these molds. Okay, got my squirt bottle. I am using my go-to vegan palm-free recipe, so the one with coconut oil in it. And I have my 1-to-1 sodium hydroxide to water ratio. Keep that over there so you don't spill it. And I have the essential oils. I was contemplating not scenting this just because I want to try and keep the base a little lighter, but I couldn't help myself. So I came up with this little blend. Yesterday, let me see if I can snuff it and tell you what it smells like. It's got Mei Chang in it, so it's like, got that nice citrus undertone, but a little dash of spearmint. It's kind of like, kind of like that lemon and citrus. That's kind of what makes the smells like fresh peaches one work, but I put sage and hoe wood in here. Oh my gosh. Let me see if I can figure out what it smells like. I don't know if I can. I just want to sniff it. But okay, so the blend is 2 parts hoe wood, 2 parts Mei Chang, 1 part sage, 1/2 part spearmint. So it's spearmint, just a real light undertone, and it does a lot to kind of just brighten things up while the hoe wood and sage are really grounding, and you got that Mei Chang that's just like the citrus, but it's not like lemony. It's just like the fun part of citrus. Okay, so we're popping those suckers in there. It smells really good. I think it might be one of my new favorites. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. We're going to put the sodium hydroxide on in. This should be a pretty quickie soap. Other things going on in the Soapy Friends verse. Maybe we do have a Soapy Friends universe. We've got getting ready for the Always Indigo Masterclass extension classes. Those are coming up in February, so you can grab the tutorial now and get caught up so you can make some awesome blue soaps with us in February. And I worked my little tushy off this last week, this weekend, and up until yesterday to get the Beldy tutorial up live on the site. I tell you, my inbox was just full of direct messages asking for the recipe and tutorial for that turmeric and rice Beldy that we made week before last. So that was super flattering, but the recipe is up on the tutorial, and that tutorial will be getting another update in February and March as well. Everything here is room temperature, by the way. So I just want to bring this to an emulsion. Maybe I'll get a little bit of a trace. I don't have a higher water content in here, so we're not going to get a big trace real fast or anything. Nice and cool, low water. Lots of time to work. So I'm seeing kind of trails of oil, or I was, letting me know that it's not quite at an emulsion. It's been cold here, like freezing. We even had some snow here in the desert, and so my room's a little bit cooler. So my oils are a bit cooler. They've been sitting out. I warmed them all up, basically melted the coconut oil just to measure it all out. Got everything liquid and then left it on the countertop here for, it's a few hours. So they've definitely cooled down. But those trails are no longer in there, those oil trails. So we are emulsified. There we go. I'm really excited about the indigo class. Oh, goodness. Oh, and yesterday, if you're in the group, you probably saw quite a few posts with events. I just set events up for the Always Indigo Masterclass extension, and talk about pre-planning. At the end of the month, I'm going to do Wet Soap Wednesday using the soap mold calculator worksheet tutorial, because I was getting some questions about those as well. Okay, so let's get this done first. The whole point of pouring the batter into the squeeze bottle is because it's easier to pour. That's it. There's no other reason. If you want to pour from a funnel or whatever. So this is what I was thinking. I want to fill these up, and I want to fill them all up the same depth, but I don't want to fill the full mold up. I only want maybe a 1/4 inch. I only want these a 1/4 inch tall. So my groovy idea here was to fill one of them. So I just tiered this out to 0. You'll be able to see it when it lights up, I think. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball where a 1/4 inch is on these. I think it's about there. That's 3.5. So 4. So I'm just going to put 4 grams in each one. So now I'm not even going to look. I'm just going to tear and measure 4. Isn't that easy? Gosh, I hope that's deep enough. Little 4 gram embeds. Oh, they're little cuties. I'm wondering if 4 grams is enough now that I'm filling the others, because it's not, I mean, maybe those are going to be too thin. I might go back and put a gram or 2 in each one. Okay, gonna kind of tamp this down. So this little black, it's a lid to one of the molds I had Chris Howells make for me, and I'm just using it to support the mold. Yeah, I think that's a little too shallow. I'm gonna put a gram or 2 in each one. Okay, there. Yay! See, so those should all be the same height. I felt kind of clever figuring that out. I think I'm gonna put these on a tray too. These butterflies are a little bit hanging off the edges there, and I don't want bent butterflies. All right, so that one is done. Yay! I'll just set that out of the side. So I think they'll be pretty cute when we put those, kind of glue them on to our bar soaps after we dip them. Okay, let's do, and again, I'm just watching down the side cavity of the mold, and that didn't even really measure. Ooh. Which meant it was like half a gram. So I'm not tearing each of these out. So our hearts aren't going to be as nice as the butterflies as far as consistency on the height, because I am eyeballing every single one of these since that first one I did. It didn't even measure half a gram. So the scale that I have measures in half grams, but that first half gram doesn't register. It starts at a gram, and then it'll do 1.5. Oh, these are still gonna be so cute. So if some of my hearts aren't, or if some are thicker than the others, I mean, that's just life, so be it. I was contemplating maybe putting the soaps in some boxes that I have, which is why I was pretty, like I kind of wanted all these hearts the same depth. But this will be fine. I'm not sure if I'm going to use those boxes to package them, but that's neither here nor there really when it comes to the design and everything. I mean, you do need to think about your soap and packaging when you're making your soap. Otherwise, you have these really cool soaps and you have no idea how to package them. And you're like, psh, what a mess that is. Okay, well, that went so fast, Soapy friends. I feel like I haven't seen you all forever since we didn't soap together last week. But let's go ahead and pour this. So in the slab mold, I've just lined it with freezer paper, shiny side up. But freezer paper is just paper with a silicone coating on it, which is why it peels off so nicely from soap. I know a lot of soap makers say they use parchment paper. I'm going to trace this up a little thicker, I think, so it doesn't go underneath that. But if you use parchment paper, that will wrinkle when it gets wet, and you'll end up with wrinkles on your soap. So parchment paper isn't what you want to use. You want to use freezer paper because it is lined with silicone. Oh no, that warmed up kind of nice. Well, I mean, I already stuck the stick blender in here. I guess I'll give it another burst. Oh, it smells so good. That'll be nice for y'all to see this kind of before and after this wet soap and how yellow it looks. It's from the olive oil, but it dries up. It cures up to a really pretty white, even though it looks pretty yellow here. All right, here we go. Just pouring this on in. Now I set my my recipe to only fill this an inch tall. I figure I'll probably plane the top off a bit because I do want it slightly under an inch, but the amount of soap I made would fill this mold 12 by 10 by 1 and 1 inch high. So I will be cutting, look at all those bubbles I got. I'll be cutting these 3 by 2. We'll end up with 9 bars. And we'll plane those off. They'll be almost an inch high. We did pour some off into our embeds. And this top surface here is what we're gonna dip into new soap when we do the fun dippy stuff. But okay, that's like it. We made a bunch of soap. So we'll end up with 9 bars, tons of embeds. I figure I would put the butterflies. Oh, I said we're gonna have 9 bars. No, I lied. We're gonna have 16 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 butterflies. So 8 of the soaps will get butterflies glued onto them. And then 8 of the soaps will have some hearts glued onto them. I figured I'd glue 2 little hearts onto some of the bars. And next thing I needed to figure out what colors to make them. I was thinking like yellow and pink and blue will be like the main colors of the dip. So that'll be fun. It'll be some probably Himalayan rhubarb, some annatto, and some indigo. And we'll do some fun, groovy kind of acrylic paint pour swirls going on. And we'll get some effects like this, I'm hoping. We shall see. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do next week. If any of you want to see me cut this, drop a comment. And if there's enough of you, or heck, if there's even one of you that wants to see a slab mold cut, I think we've done that before, but I'm not sure. Drop a comment and I'll record it, but I'll be cutting this tomorrow. I do want this to be lighter and bright as I can, so I'm not going to insulate this. This mold is lifted up off the table just by the way the mold is made. The bottom of the soap doesn't touch the table, just the feet of the mold do. So it'll have some good circulation. Shouldn't get soda ash because I used my lower water. So we should be good all around. Might get a little bit of soda ash if it gets too cool this evening, but you know, we'll see. We'll be covering that up anyway, and soda ash on the embeds would be kind of cute. So I think that is everything. Hi Kathy, hi Dana, thanks for popping in. If anyone has any questions, drop them in real quick. In the meantime, hop over to soapyfriends.com. Be sure to check out the new Beldy tutorial. I've included a complete formulation guide. There's 4 videos and showing you the full process. You get a hot process primer. You get my turmeric and rice Beldy soap recipe. You also get a traditional black Beldy Moroccan soap recipe. Oh, they're so great. Just absolutely love them. And don't forget the Always Indigo Masterclass Live extension series where we're going to be making 10 new blue soaps with indigo oil infusions, and we're also using one of the other indigos. So we'll be using Ann George indigos, and we'll be using the Bremic powder as well. So that's everything we got planned. I will see you next week when we dip all these soaps after I chop them up, try and glue some embeds on them. And then in a couple weeks, again, we'll be looking at soap mold calculations, math, and making math not scary. All right, that's everything I have for you, Soapy friends. Thanks again for popping in. Until next week, happy soaping.